food security through insurance. This will be presented by the Director General of NIPS, Kuru Jos. Please join us. I welcome here Professor Ayo Omotayo. The man is as tall as his intellectual height. I welcome you, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We all just failed NIPS first test. At the National Institute, we greet when we are given the opportunity to talk to an audience, and when the audience does not reply, we will not talk. So what I will do now is I will regret the audience, and I will expect that we respond. Now I'm going to change to NIPS style manual. So I'm going to call all of us here participants. So good afternoon, participants that are here today. Thank you very much. Now, so much has been said about the insurance business, especially as it affects the brokerage sector. And I was listening intently, and I told myself that, okay, I have a paper to read, and I will also speak from the heart. I recognize the fact that we have laid several kinds of protocols, and I'm not going to bother myself about protocols. The good thing is that I know that the chairman is seated. We have eminent persons sitting on the white chairs. And of course, the audience is still here. So I certainly know the audience I'm trying to address. Now, for some of us who may not have had the opportunity of coming to Kuru, let me just say a few things about us. The National Institute was established in 1978, before General Obasanjo departed office, precisely 1979, and we have existed for 45 years, training and building and developing capacities for both of our bureaucracies and, of course, for the private sector. For a long time, we didn't do too much about the private sector, largely because of military rule. We had a whole lot of concentration on training military and security personnel. But in the past 10 years, we have been putting some kind of attention on the private sector, because we are now in a democracy, and we expect that the civilians will drive things. The motto of the Institute is towards a better Nigerian society. What we do every year is looking for a better Nigerian society. How can we make Nigeria a better place? And every year we are asked to research into a theme that Mr. President considers to be of high importance to him. We bring in participants like those who are here. We lock them down for 10 months. And those who wear the yellow badge, we tell you that for the 10 months, they only have 3 exits to the Institute. And of course, they have a total 15 minutes to be late for engagements. So you can see that it's a very serious place where we do very serious business. I always tell participants that we must not see them near the gate. If you see you near the gate, it means you want to exit the Institute. But that is not why I'm here today. I'm here today because you have chosen a topic of serious importance. I told you I'm not going to read my speech, but let me just allude to a few things. You have chosen a matter of serious importance. If you look at Mr. President's agenda, the third on the renewed hope agenda has to do with boosting agriculture to achieve food security. Of course, there are some other ones there. How are we going to use insurance to boost food security? When I got the invite, I just laughed. I said, what are these people looking for? What is the business of insurance with food security? And I told myself, I said, yes, they have a whole lot of business. Let's think through what can they exactly do. And I told myself, I said, this is very heartening because it means that the insurance sector is trying to play some of the roles it probably have not been looking at. I listened to all the speakers speaking about other avenues through which you can grow your business. And I said, if in the insurance people want to come into food security, then we need to encourage them. I had so many other invites, but because we consider food security as being very important, number 3 is the President's agenda for the renewed hope. I said, for any Nigerian that cares about the growth and development of our country, we must, at every opportunity, give support to what Mr. President wants to achieve. That was the number 3 one on the 8th item agenda is food security, and I'm so excited that you guys chose to look at food security. Now, let's look at the background to what food security is. Traditionally, what constitutes man include food, clothing, and shelter. Today, advancement in human civilization and the resultant expanding needs, food continues to form the fulcrum to man's continued existence. The assertion finds expression in everyday discourse. For instance, the Yorubas of the southwest of Nigeria has these common aphorisms, namely, Okuinu, Lafin, Betita. For those who don't speak Yoruba, we say the strength from within is necessary before you can show your strength from outside. And of course, we also say, Tonje ba tonloro eni, abusheti bushe. That is, if you are able to feed yourself, then you have solved almost all of the problems you have. Everybody knows that, and of course, you always remember they say that an hungry man is an angry man. When our youths came out a few months ago and they said, Ebing Pawa, I mean, for those who don't speak Yoruba, they say, oh, we are hungry. I knew that there was a problem. If you have people who are hungry, and you have people who cannot even then move, then you are going to face some problems. So I don't want to put too much on that, but we know that food is very important. And Mr. President knew that and made it the number 3 item on its agenda. So I say essentially having food security as some of the first 3 among these key priority areas implies that this administration equally shows good faith with the different approaches that exist in basic needs of life. This therefore begs the question, what is food security? I'm going to emphasize this because for some of us, we may think that food security is just about putting food somewhere for people to buy. So let's see what people have said about what food security is about. It says it is about providing the population of a country with dairy products of its own production. For instance, we must be able to ensure that food is not only available, it is available in the right quantity, and also we must ensure that the nutrition is the same. To put it more differently, Office of the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs 2024 averred that food security goes beyond the mere availability of food. It is about access, stability, and resilience. Now, note the word stability and resilience. It is the assurance that every individual has the means to access safe and nutritious food, enabling them to lead a healthy life. To make proper sense of these submissions, we turn to the 1996 World Food Summit cited in World Bank 2024, where food security was defined as when all people at all times have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy lifestyle. Note those words. Food preferences, not just anyhow food. If you feel like eating gari, then it must be available. If you feel it is of the rice you feel like eating, it must be available. So let us note those ones, especially for those who will come later to discuss. Additionally, World Bank 2024 argued that food security manifests in 4 main dimensions, all of which must simultaneously be achieved. These dimensions are as discussed. 1, physical availability of food. Food availability addresses the supply side of food security and is determined by the level of food production, stock levels, and net trade. Also note the word net trade. Number 2, based on what World Bank is saying, there must be economic and physical access to food. It means an adequate supply of food at the national or international level must be guaranteed at the level of the household. And we must know that concerns about insufficient food access have resulted in greater policy focus on incomes, expenditure, markets, and prices in achieving food security objectives. Now, when the World Bank noted that there was in Africa, or there are even still in Africa, insufficient food security, it started looking at the level of incomes, expenditure on food, and of course, market prices. Then let's just look at food utilization. Utilization is commonly understood as the way the body makes the most of various nutrients in the food. Sufficient energy and nutrient intake by individuals are the result of good care and feeding practices. Food preparation, diversity of the diet, and intra-household distribution of food are all of concerns under food security. Combined with good biological utilization and food consumed, both of these determine the nutritional status of individuals. And of course, we have to look at stability of the 3 earlier mentioned points as being important in food security. Notably, recognizing the veracity of these claims, governments all over the world, corporate organizations, and even private individuals have continued to make efforts at ensuring that these dimensions of food security are effectively achieved. This they have continued to do through various means and support programs. We are living witnesses to the fact that most recently, we witnessed the First Lady, Mrs. Tinubu's backyard food garden. According to the Nation 2024, the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, urged women to take the lead in the food security campaign, emphasizing the importance of individual contributions to addressing food insufficiency. Please note that individual contributions to addressing food insufficiency. It is not only farmers that we must depend on to bring food to our table. In unveiling our own vegetable garden in the State House, in our State House residence, the First Lady encouraged first-time women farmers to participate in the Every Home a Garden competition. The competition, which is open to women across Nigeria, aims to promote smart gardening and enhance communal living. It is our conviction that every small contribution can collectively drive the food security campaign forward. However, even at this effort, food insecurity has remained pervasive. That is to draw emphasis to the fact that at the highest level of governance, Mr. President and of course his wife are both aware that if we are going to have sufficient food production in Nigeria, it cannot be left only to the farmers. And I'm beginning to believe that the reason why the National Council of Registered Insurance Brokers brought this up is because they are also willing to join the efforts at ensuring that we have enough food produced in Nigeria. Globally, attempts at attaining food security, as espoused above, have continued to prove elusive for us in Nigeria. According to FAO, 6 years from 2030, hunger and food security trends are not yet moving in the right direction to end hunger and food insecurity. The indicators of progress towards global nutrition targets similarly show that the world is not on track to eliminate all forms of malnutrition. Billions of people still lack access to nutritious, safe, and sufficient food. Furthermore, major drivers of food insecurity, which gave rise to the subject of food insecurity in the first place, include conflicts, climate variability, extremes of climate, economic slowdowns and downturns, and of course we have had pandemics, population boom, and geopolitical tensions everywhere. Now let me pause, scan the audience like we do at NIPS, and we'll ask anybody who is sure that he or she has been listening, tell us one thing the DG has spoken in the last 15 minutes. Can somebody help us out? I told us I was going to use NIPS style manual. So for us at NIPS, when somebody has spoken for 10, 15 minutes, we will ask the audience from somebody representing the audience to tell us, oh, this is one thing that I remember you have spoken. And it has to come from the audience. Anybody that is willing, otherwise I will not continue. You see, yes, you see, we need to change Nigeria. Sorry, I can't move my mic. We need to change Nigeria. We study what happens, and we know that the attention span of the average Nigerian rich man, you are all very rich people, is 10 minutes. Am I right? Nobody is talking to me. The average attention span that we have observed, when you put rich Nigerians like you together, is not more than 10 minutes. I need you to prove me wrong. Yes, you agree with me. And if you are going to change things in Nigeria, we can't continue to do things in the same way. That's why I'm saying that this audience must give me someone who is sure or that he or she has been listening and tell me one or two things you have heard me say, otherwise I will not continue. Who chose you to come? You see, on whose mandate? the best way to do it is I will take one from this side of the hall. So, okay, you are from that side of the hall. Okay, that makes it one from this side of the hall. Otherwise, if you are not presenting anybody from your side of the hall, the whole of you will have to, no, you will stand up and walk around until somebody is able to say something. We don't, you see, you brought the DG of NIPS from Kuru, and once you have brought us out, we have to impose our style manual. I'm sorry, and you know one thing, they will tell you, those of them who are wearing the yellow badge, the day you enter our gate, we tell you to leave your big man's box at the gate. There is no big man once you enter our premises. And I've declared this place NIPS premises. So you have to follow my rules. So, madam, you are going to say something, but I'll start from this end. Is somebody from this end able to remember anything I've said so far? Otherwise, they will have to stand up. Yes. This is NIPS environment. Mr. President, thank you very much. I have his protection. Okay, somebody is savaging that side. Okay, sir, one thing that I've said, it doesn't matter. And you will tell us your name and where you came from. That is NIPS standard, so we know who is talking to us. You can come and stand with me, sir. It's free. Sorry, we are going to have people seated, but if you are going to do it at all, let us do it well. Am I correct? Thank you, sir. One thing that I've said, just to be sure that you are listening to us. Thank you, sir. Mention your name, sir.
Dr. Remy Allo.
Dr. Remy Allo, from where, sir?
From insurance brokers in Lagos.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Remy Allo is an insurance broker from Lagos. So one thing that I've said, just one thing, not two.
One thing that struck me, which is a hanging fruit on food security, you mentioned about the head of the First Lady planting things around her.
Please, can you clap for him? Thank you, Baba, you can go. Okay, you can come now. You are taking the mic? Oh, you are going to take the mic today. Okay, from this center, please, because I can't lose this one. The gentleman in glasses, can you take the mic to him?
I was giving the mic to speak.
Oh, you want to speak?
I was giving the mic.
Okay.
I should
Did
speak
you say
from
you
here?
wanted to speak? Okay, say something, one thing.
Okay.
And you cannot repeat what somebody has said.
Of course, yes. I'm Olori Omomi Agumbiade from UNTAPPED Insurance Brokers Limited. That farmers cannot do it all alone. We all have to take.
Please, can you clap for her? Thank you very much. Once I saw a young lady, she said, I will say to her, she said, in Yoruba, she was saying that may all the farmers be cursed. They are the ones that are increasing the price of food. And I really was struck by that how can people think this way? They made it look as if some people were actually brought into this world to be farmers, and the rest of you brokers making a whole lot of money, some of us farming for the rich insurance brokers.
Yes, my name is Kayode Oguntoyibu.
Thank you, sir.
From Union Commercial Insurance Brokers.
One thing, just one thing.
The one thing you said are the challenges of food sustainability in Nigeria. One of them, climate change.
Thank you, that's fine, you are listening. Okay, from this side, because I'm not going to let anybody go. Okay, the lady in green, and she's very into.
So you mentioned, sir, the importance of, okay, sorry. My name is Bola Odukale from NIA.
Thank you, ma.
So you mentioned that just to show the importance of food, you came up with a proverb in Yoruba that Can
you clap for her? She got that. Now, the final one from this side, before I send them all standing. No, from that side. I guess just one thing.
My name is Dennis Nroma of Pinnacle Insurance Brokers.
Thank you.
You mentioned that one of the threats to food security is war and crime. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, Jesse.
Okay, can you all clap for yourselves, please? Now, I'm going to continue, but I won't say, there is something I wanted to say, but I'll leave that to the end. Now, let's continue. Now, the World Food Program 2024 estimated that around 26.5 million people across the country will face acute hunger in the months of June, July, and August 2024. Now, this figure is a staggering figure. 26.5 million Nigerians facing food hunger. They probably have faced it, and we are still great. Do you know why? Because that is the month during when we plant. Those of us who are farmers, we plant in May, and we're working on the farm June, July, and August before you begin to have your first harvest. In Nigeria, the drivers of food security are not in any way different from those already highlighted above. However, it is observed that even where the food is available, we have problems with rising inflation, some policies, some assaults here and there, low labor wages, and then we have acquisition of foreign taste that makes Nigerians find it difficult to eat what we have produced. I've told a group of women, I said they are part of the cause of food insecurity in Nigeria, because when they go to the market, they refuse to buy Nigerian-made rice, Nigerian-grown rice. We ask women today, and we've been appealing to them, please learn how to cook Nigerian-grown rice. Because one of the researches we carried out at NIPS shows that women neglect and ignore the rice grown in Nigeria. Please, I use this opportunity to appeal to women. Your complaints, major complaints, is that the rice comes out soggy when you cook your jollof rice, but we believe that if you actually study the rice very well, you will find ways and means of ensuring that you cook them in a way that they will not be soggy. I'm just using a common things can lead to common solutions. Now, let us look at the insurance solution to our problems. The potentials of insurance to improve food security has been acknowledged for years, maybe not in Nigeria. But also in Nigeria, we found that the Central Bank of Nigeria did something along this line. You will all recall the establishment of NASA, and of course, the NASA, which is the Nigerian incentive-based risk-sharing system for agricultural lending. It is a $500 million non-bank financial institution wholly owned by Central Bank of Nigeria, which was created to redefine, dimension, and measure, reprice, and share agribusiness credit risk in Nigeria. It was established in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, and of course, the Nigerian Bankers Committee also is a part of it. NASA mandate is to stimulate the flow of affordable finance and investments into the agricultural sector by de-risking the agriculture and agribusiness finance value chain, fixing agricultural value chains, building long-term capacity, and of course, institutionalizing incentives for agricultural lending through its 5 strategic pillars, namely risk sharing, insurance, technical assistance, incentives, and rating. Let me appeal that the Council of Nigerian Registered Insurance Brokers need to make an appeal to the CBN to let it have its own kind of NASA. If we are going to participate, our own policy suggestion is that the Council of Registered Insurance Brokers need to have its own NASA, because that will be solely private sector driven. You guys know how to watch your money. You know how to ensure that you don't lose money. differently from what NASAL is currently doing. That money, personally, I believe that the $500 million, if it had been given to the private sector, especially through the Council of Registered Insurance Brokers and maybe through the Nigerian Insurance Association, it should have done much, much better than it is currently doing. Ladies participants, $500 million is not small money. If that was given to the private sector, I'm very sure that our food security situation would have been very different. Today, among other things, NASAL operates a 5-4-3-2-1 commodity-focused approach, where 5 represents industrial commodities, namely maize, soya, wheat, cassava, and cotton. 4 represents export commodities underscored by value-added hibiscus, sesame, ginger, and shea. Number 3, we say 3 highlights consumer commodities like rice, potatoes, sweet and Irish, and beans. And then D, the 2 represents controlled environment agriculture, giving rise to commodity inclusive of fresh fruits and vegetables. And of course, 1 represents integrated livestock commodities, namely beef, dairy, hides, and skin. Now, if you look at that 5-4-3-2-1 combination, it is not too well publicized. It is not too well known because of the way NASAL operates. And of course, remarkably, by the 3rd quarter of 2020, on its company profile, it released the following reports. That 1, it facilitated 145 billion Nigerian naira into various agricultural value chains. And the question is, if 145 billion naira went into the value chains, then you must ask, where is the food? Most often we found that we mentioned figures that have been put into particular projects, into particular programs, but then we don't ask ourselves, where is the food? Yes, 145 billion sounds exciting, and then you think government is doing very well, or NASAL is doing very well, but then you must ask the concomitant question that where is the food? Number 2, it claimed that they only have a 1% risk crystallization rate on the supported transactions as a result of rigorous prudence. But yet, the question is still, why do we have food shortage? It claims to have provided training and facilitated agribusiness clinics for more than 700,000 farmers and over 2,600 agri-desk officers of commercial banks across the country to build capacity, enhance productivity, and the flow of finance and investment to the sector. But the question is still, where is the food? It is not just putting money or training, but then there must be results for all of the training. It claims to have paid out 1.4 billion interest drawbacks in support of good borrower behavior. The question still remains, why are people leaving the farms? Of course, we know that we have insecurity issues in our farms, but then the question remains, where is the food? It claims to have facilitated approval by NICOM for 9 private insurance companies to market newly developed insurance products. Over to you. 9 private insurance companies to market the newly developed insurance products. Those are your members. I don't know if they want to own up. 9 has new products that have to do with agriculture, but then the question is still, do we have the food? So let us move to looking for solutions. We have proven that the insurance sector actually made a foray through the CBN. Maybe CBN shouldn't be the right body to do it. Maybe we should have actually given the money to the insurance sector to venture into food production. CBN tried to do it through NASAL, but I'm still asking the question, where is the food? Now let us look at what NCRI can do, the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers. 1, this has been mentioned, there must be a digital transformation of the insurance sector. Let me quickly tell you this story that I witnessed in 2013. I was passing through Alagbado driving, I used to live in that area, and I saw a fuel tanker standing by the road, and another one parking astride, the block part of the road. They were transferring fuel from one tanker to the other. I drove past, and as I was coming back, I saw that the tanker from which they took the fuel had fallen. I said, something must be going on. When the tanker had fuel, it did not fall. But when fuel had been taken out of it now fell inside a gutter, and some streams of this thing was going by. I said to myself, insurance to Jegbese. Now, that day, I had an opportunity about 2-3 years later to speak to an eminent audience of insurance brokers in Lagos, and I mentioned to them that they needed to find ways and means of digitalizing and monitoring what they have insured so that people don't strain money off the insurance companies without any. They just take it and then you will know. So the second thing is that you must show interest in public-private partnerships. You need to come up, put together plans that will make insurance companies participate. Number 3, we spoke about index-based insurance. Unlike traditional indemnity-based insurance, this is a suggestion which requires on-site assessments to determine losses. Index-based insurance pays out based on a pre-established index, such as rainfall levels or temperature thresholds. This can significantly reduce the administrative burden and cost, enabling quicker payouts and more efficient coverage. For instance, a drought-triggered insurance policy can help a community receive immediate assistance, allowing them to maintain their livelihoods during difficult times. What we are trying to say is that we need to up our game such that we can have a pre-established situations for different levels of the risk that you are taking. That is for the insurance sector. Now, let's look at what brokers can do. We must acknowledge that expanding insurance for food security in Nigeria offers immense potential, but of course, we have challenges. These challenges include issues of affordability for farmers, lack of awareness, trust deficits, and the need for accurate data to design effective insurance products. Interestingly, these challenges equally present opportunities for innovation. For instance, we can foster financial literacy among farmers, ensuring they understand the value of insurance. We can build trust by designing transparent and user-friendly insurance products. And by working together, governments, insurers, farmers, and NGOs, we can create systems that gather and utilize accurate climate and agricultural data to craft solutions that truly meet the needs of the vulnerable communities. It is therefore at this point that the broker's role becomes very prominent. As we already know, the insurance broker bridges the gap between insurers and clients. Thus, in operationalizing insurance for food security in the renewed hope agenda, the insurance broker will, among other things, undertake the following. And I was discussing with somebody just now. I said, we are going to write to the insurance industry to give us what their contributions will be towards a $1 trillion economy by 2030. The 1% you are currently doing is totally unacceptable, but we know why you are doing 1%. You are doing 1% because the businesses are just not dead. Some are untapped. If the manufacturing industries were doing well, certainly the level of insurance contribution will be more than 1%. We know that. You may not know. We know that. So we need other sectors of the economy, especially the manufacturing sector, the mining sector. I was discussing with an insurance broker. He just even doesn't know how to judge or to calculate the risks that is involved in mining. How many business have we done in the mining sector? As huge, no, I'm not, let's take up petroleum because I know that is a very sure area for you. No, it is also an offense when you are listening to lectures at NIPS for you to sleep. Madam, you can't sleep. No, you are a participant at NIPS for today. It is an offense. No, I've told us that we are using news time manual, so everybody, there is no big man and no big woman today. So it is my duty to ensure that you don't sleep. So if you are sleeping, we will tell you. But because we are not inside NIPS, I would have asked some people to stand up and stretch their legs. Okay, let us all stretch our legs. Everybody stand up. Now, the next thing is to kick anything in front of you. Kick anything in front of you. Kick anything in front of you. As long as you don't have a medical reason not to stand up, you have to stand up. Yes, this is NIPS time manual. As long as you don't have any medical reason not to stand up, you have to stand up. You know, at NIPS, you say it is by fire, by force. Nigeria must change. Somebody is still sitting down and it's not going to accept. So all of us will keep standing until that last person stands up. So if you want to keep standing, you can let some people sit. Okay, are we all in compliance? Group leaders, are we all in compliance? Gentlemen and ladies, you can please have your seat. Now, let us look at what insurance brokers need to do. Number one, you have a duty, and this is not a suggestion. Mr. President has stood up, but please tell me when he comes back. He must lead the insurance, the Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, to lead an education and awareness campaign. It is important. You must learn and develop curriculum for customized risk assessment and policy selection. Customized risk assessment and policy selection. I'm a farmer, and anytime they come, the risk assessment of, I tell them, the risk assessment of a cashew farm is certainly different from the risk assessment of an oil palm farm, okay? The risk assessment on livestock also differs. One solution does not fit all in the agricultural sector. Please note that. Number three, you must advocate for affordable and relevant agricultural insurance products. You need to be very innovative. And I'm announcing to you, because I am a farmer, okay, and I know you are going to come to us, and I farm across the spectrum. I have a rice farm, I know the risk. Now, let me tell you one thing. When they come to evaluate, and they give you the premium to play on rice, I just laugh at them, because the risk of growing rice is only 4 months. Ladies and participants, it's only 4 months. So how would you calculate that same risk on a product that is staying for 6 months? I am not a risk adjuster, or neither do I know how to do it. But then you must understand that you need to customize risk calculations for the different kinds of agricultural products that would encourage the farmer. What about insuring us when we are brooding? Just insure us for brooding instead of insuring us for the whole life cycle of the broiler production. I don't know if there are any farmers here. The insurance on a laying bird should not be the same one as the insurance on a breeding bird, on brooders that only have a lifespan of 8 weeks. You need to come up with products that will take into consideration those differences. Number 4, you must leverage technology in order to not only sell the products to us, but to get access. And of course, if the risk crystallizes, you must support claims, and providing you must immediately pay. It is necessary you build partnerships with governments and NGOs. You must contribute to data collection and risk modeling. I don't see the insurance companies do that. When I lived in America, I used to calculate, I used to write software for risk modeling. Since I came to Nigeria, I've never seen any insurance company request that we do calculations on risk modeling for the various agricultural products. And I'm telling and I'm announcing to you today that a whole lot of farmers are willing, insofar you give the adequate cover. I've told you we feel cheated when you put the same premium on brooding of broiler and the same thing on layer, because they carry different risks. And unless, of course, you sit and you allow curriculum to be developed, those things may never happen. But they are opportunities that those of you in this sector can tap from going forward. And of course, you need to promote financial literacy among farmers all over Nigeria. I'm going to stop very soon. Importantly, you must innovate. You must support agricultural research and efforts. Someone mentioned earlier, and I heard it here, I said we should be able, and if you follow my advice, I'm telling you that this council will never be the same. Mr. President, if it is possible that to mandate all brokers to contribute ordinary 1% of their profit to research efforts, is going to make a whole lot of difference. The insurance, your council needs to contribute to the renewed hope agenda by supporting some of the initiatives of Mr. President, especially as you have picked food security. Yes, I'm not saying be farmers, but then you can bring together aggregators through this ordinary 1% contribution from the profit of the brokers. You can intentionally do this and then model it and then see what comes up. I'm very sure that you may not know, if you gather money and you grow rice, in 4 months, the business with rice is done. Why can't your council just contribute 1% of your profit? You can risk that. Carry out insurance. Take, for example, now, we're trying to talk about food production in Nigeria, and we're looking at yam as a staple. We're saying, what can we do about yam? I was speaking to some researchers, they said, oh, they are looking at yam whitening. Yam whitening. I said, is the problem of Nigeria about white yam or yellow yam? What we need is more production. And at the end of our study, we found that we can actually, through innovative approach, develop model species of yam that will mature in 5 months. To those of you who are not farmers, yam takes 7 to 8 months to mature. So we are trying to carry out research, and we have found that even for the first 2 months, when you plant the yam, it is sitting in the soil. It's latent for 2 months. For 2 months, yam is not doing anything. It's just buried under the ground. So that is a research for you. How can we make yam start growing 2 weeks after you have buried it into the ground? These are the kinds of research you can support that will contribute to the renewed hope agenda on food security. In conclusion, Let me disclose here that more than any of us here, the issue of insurance in food security, as has already been advanced, speaks first to me. How? I can understand the agitations rummaging your minds now. Actually, besides being an academic, I'm also a farmer. And I only some few months back, September to be exact, that one of the threats to food security came up. In this place, climate variability and extremes, as earlier noted, hit me. I didn't see it coming. I'm not certain that NIMET saw those figures too. The result was that rain suddenly stopped. And you know something with rice and maize, they count days. If they don't get the rain they need at the time they need it, they just give up. They won't die, but after the fourth month, they certainly will die without any fruit. There are some other crops, when they don't get the rain they need, they can stop their system until the rain comes, which means that every farmer faces that kind of situation. What can insurance brokers do to encourage farmers to continue to grow food, even at the risk of not having rain? Don't forget, 80% of our agriculture is rain-fed. If it is rain-fed, it means we are always at the mercy of nature. What can insurance brokers do to ensure that you mitigate the risk that we face from rain? Matter of fact, while still counting my loss, I was musing over what could likely become of a small-scale farmer who faced the same situation I faced in September. It is clear that those group of people that represent 70% of our farmers would not have opportunity to recover when they have made losses like that. I think a better place to leave this conversation is that food security is a fundamental human right. And I think lawyers will note that, those of us who are also lawyers, that food security is a fundamental human right. And every step we take towards securing it is a step towards a more just and prosperous Nigeria. And I'm sure that is what the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers is looking for, a more just Nigeria. This will mean, for instance, that the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and government at subnational and national levels will introduce incentives to farmers who plant high-risk crops. Please make no mistake. Insurance is not a silver bullet, but it is a powerful tool in our arsenal, one that, if harnessed effectively, can transform uncertainty into opportunity and vulnerability into resilience. Mr. President, I thank you and I thank members of your council for allowing me to weigh in on the issue of food security and insurance. I believe the choice of food security being linked to insurance is a very worthy one. I'm excited that you picked this. For us at the National Institute, we offer to work with you. We believe that you are making an intentional effort, and you are not just making a show of it by bringing this to the doorstep of Mr. President. We are willing to work with you to ensure that your council participates in ensuring that we solve once and for all the problem of food security in Nigeria. Let me just stop at this time. Thank you very much. So, can I go back, or you're going to bring the panel? You're bringing the
You know, he didn't just present a paper, he taught a class. You know, there are some people who do what they are not created to do. This man was born to be a teacher. Can we appreciate him, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you very much. Thank you. So the ES told me we have 30 minutes to be here, no matter what we do. Okay. We have two panelists that will be here. I'm very sure, Prof, you would like to have some engagement with the audience, even in just about 2-3 questions. Okay, so we'll have the discussants. They will discuss 5 minutes, sit with you, and then we open it up, take about 3 questions, and we'll begin to wrap up. Let me invite Mr. David Akubo. And Mr. Bodeok Padokun. Thank you very much, please. So maybe you can be by his side so that you can provide enough support. Please sit here. So we will have 5 minutes apiece. Mr. Akubo, we'll have 5 minutes for each discussant. And then we'll come back here and then support him as he decides to engage the audience. Huh? All right, okay. So the microphone's here.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Did he answer you?
Sir? Okay, I'm going to suspend the NIPS agenda now. Is that okay, Mr. President? Can we? No. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you so much. And like they said, you've taught, you've instructed. You didn't mention anything about National Insurance, Agric Insurance Corporation. I don't know why that is. I also expected that you'd be here. You are here, Naik is here. All right. Because you kept pushing the thing to us. You wanted us to go into farming. You wanted us to invest, to leave our core competence to go and farm. I'm a farmer myself. I'm a poultry farmer, and I do a little crop farming on the side. But I'm not going to leave insurance, like you are suggesting, and go and be farming. Now, excuse me, I have some things written and I was hoping that also we could push several things back to government. Why? Government holds all the major things that has to do with agric. They own the land. The statistics shows that agric, the statistics from NBS shows to us that they employ more than 36% of labor force in Nigeria. And I believe that government can really do much more than they are doing. Like the support to so many agric establishments, agric agencies. What are they doing? What are they doing at this time? We have the AMT with what happened to the Badegi rice mill? What happened to Lake Chad Research Institute? What happened to the river basins? These are all areas that we are supposed to really push agric and food security in Nigeria. I also want to know there's a lot of waste when we talk about our agri, because after harvest, the infrastructure to add value, not only to sustain food, to keep food, but also to add value for export. That is also missing. Infrastructure like roads to bring food into where it is needed. I know Nigeria, we used to have DFRI developed roads. We used to have MAMSA, that the public communication of government, where government tells people what it is doing. And I believe that after listening to you, there's quite a lot that can be done. We as brokers, the insurance industry, a lot that we can do is being in, you mentioned it, data. We need to provide data. We need to simplify the process. We also have to make the insurance attractive to the people we are trying to sell to. The agri industry in Nigeria, there are big farmers, there are small farmers. The big farmers, I know most of them, because of the access they have to bank funds, they are forced to do insurance. But the smaller holders, the subsistence ones, the everyday backyard farmers, they don't have, the insurance is going to be insurance is not going to be attractive. You mentioned cost. So to support that, our activities must bring insurance premiums to become manageable, to become attractive. Also to provide incentives so that more people can buy insurance. But having said that, I'm hoping that, sir, you will, having invited us, we are hoping that we can come away from you with quite a number of things that can help us with the food security in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. And now, Mr. Babatunde. All right.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Oyasmomo. I'm standing in for Mr. Babatunde. He's unavailable absent. Actually, would have loved to be here. Due to some reasons, circumstances beyond his control, he's having the board meeting this week. He was scheduled to have been here on the 17th when this event was initially fixed. But due to the postponement, he cannot attend. So please bear with us. So thank you very much. I count it a privilege, a great privilege to be here today. And having listened to all the speakers and our keynote speaker, I have learned a whole lot of things, despite the fact that we are into agri insurance. Like I am the head of agribusiness in Sanlam General Insurance. And I want to really thank our keynote speaker, the prof. He has really spoken well. He has taught us a whole lot of things concerning agri insurance. We know that this is a very specialized risk, given the fact that climate change has further exacerbated this risk. It has, like he was saying, there are some things that were happening before, the risks that were not there before, but now those are some of the things we are beginning to see. Like, for instance, in the north, we didn't used to experience maybe flood in the past, but now we begin to see flood risk coming up in the north. And same thing in the south. We were never experiencing anything like droughts, but now we experience drought. So this theme is very apt. Thank you very much. So one thing I really want to touch on that he has spoken on a whole lot of issues concerning insurance, promoting prompt claim payments. Yes, I know we can do better in this area when it comes to prompt claims payment. Even the regulator, they are on us on this, because we know very well that this sometimes may not be our fault when it comes to claims payment, because we need to get some things from the claimant, from the insured, to enable us process the claims further. However, I think we are working on this to improve on it. Again, he mentioned the role of government. Yes, government is the largest spender in the economy. And without government giving money to the sectors, there is no way this can trickle down. We know that when this new government came in, because of what happened during the Anchor Borrowers program that you mentioned, where NASA played a significant role. So when the government, this new government saw what happened in that sector, they decided not to spend anything. I can say that in the past 2 years, nothing has been given to CBN in terms of facilities to be disbursed to farmers and corporate bodies. So, and this has really impacted agriculture. And if there is no activities in that sector, there is no way agri-insurance can take place. So we want to say that you cannot cut your nose to spite your face. We know that they did not do well in that era, the Emefiele era. What the government can do is to set up the community and look into what happened in that area, what happened then, so that such will not repeat itself. They can also go ahead and continue to fund agriculture, because without funding this sector, there is no way. Once there is no activity, we will continue to have food insecurity. And this is what we are trying to avoid. So again, like I said, climate change has thrown up a whole lot of risk. This is the era where we need to take it seriously. So he has spoken on a whole lot of things that can be done, like education and awareness. Yes, I agree with him totally. Awareness, we need to come up with bespoke products. We don't need to rely on our old products. Yes, we are doing this. We have a whole lot of products that are coming up now. Like in addition to the ones you mentioned earlier, we also have weather index. In addition to the area index, we have also weather index. And again, I know one of our colleagues in the industry also launched a product recently whereby I think it's called a payout is paid out immediately. It's a new product. It has not really penetrated the industry, but it's coming up, and I know it's going to benefit our farmers of a great lot. So we are working on it. We are coming up with bespoke risk assessment solutions like you have suggested, which will benefit the farmers. So I want to appeal that if this is the time where agri-insurance is needed most, if you are not be doing it at all, this is the era, in view of climate change, what is happening all over the world now. So I want to thank you for your insightful presentations, and we have gotten a whole lot of things out of it, and which we know that every one of us here is going to have some one or two takeaways. A huge opportunities, like the Honorable Minister of Marine Economy mentioned in the marine sectors. Of course, we know that agri-insurance is also in that area, like the trawlers, the fish themselves, and all the tools for all this, like the hull, marine hull, and the rest. So we have a huge lot of opportunities in that sectors too. So I believe that going forward is going to be a win-win situation for the practitioners and the farmers. Thank you very much.
Win-win situation for practitioners, farmers, and by extension, the nation. The technical people, can let's have some microphones to move around. We'll be taking, Prof, comfortable 4?
Yeah.
Are you comfortable with 4 questions?
Any number.
Okay. We are wrapping up in 15 minutes. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Identify yourself, your question. We are doing 4 questions. Okay, the man in glasses, 1. Mr. President, do you want to kick off? Okay, I saw your hand up. Okay, the lady there, 2. Okay, 3. We are looking for the 4th person. Let it be a lady. Oh, okay. I will start with you, sir. Can we have a microphone here, please?
Where is the food? That was the consistent question our lecturer, teacher was posing. Where is the food? Right? There is one area that has been neglected by past governments and current government. If you drive from Lagos to Ogbomoso, Lagos to Benin, you meet food stores on the road, people wanting to sell food, small farmers who brought food. By 6 p.m., 7 p.m., maybe 80% of the food had not been bought, or 90%. Wastage. Where is the food? The food had been on the road. Where? What about storage facility, which the government can do? They can arrange to buy all the food stuffs, both in the local markets that are wasting at about 6 p.m., bananas, plantains, and all that are wasting. Buy all of them of those farmers and store them, and then release them. My father was a farmer. In the late 40s and the 50s, in our farm, the yams that are produced, they are stored inside the farm and released to the populace after the farming period. Where is the food? The food is there, wasting away. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, my brother in glasses. The microphone is meeting you there.
Thank you very much. I'm very sure our prof has really, exposed us to certain things we don't know before. And of course, he emphasized on the insecurity that we are facing in the agri sector. But however, we need to do more of preaching to convince people to get back to the farm. Like he mentioned, or he suggested, that 1% of our profit can be invested in the agri sector. Yes, it is good, but I know some of us here must have invested and suffer heavy losses as a result of this. So nobody wants to play with his investment. But the question now is that I'm happy. The underwriters in the agri sector, they are here. And I'm very sure a lot of people will have suffered truly as a result of some uninsured risk. For instance, where are we now? Before you can convince somebody to go back into farming, he must be sure that when a loss occurs, who will give him the succor? Are you now going to include a lot of exclusions? Because I knew some times ago in one farm in Okiaru, we went there to campaign for agri insurance when they suffered losses during the COVID or pre-COVID era. And when we got there, they said some of them insured, and that they said they excluded pig. There was a kind of extension, and that disease caused a lot of havoc as at that time. So are we sure now that when we convince people to go back to the farm, how ready are you? Because you said there are a lot of emerging risks now in the agricultural sector. How ready are you to accommodate all those risks in such a way that when we invest into that business, we are not going to bite our teeth? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, the time is so fast. The lady, has he asked your question? Huh? All right. Prof, they told me I have just 3 minutes to be right here. Okay. Go ahead. Where is she?
I'm here, sir.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. Though Daddy has partly touched on my issue, because I was looking at food wastages, because that is part of the problem that we are having in this part. Why the farmers produce, but more than half of what they produce don't get eaten because they get wasted. And Prof, you've spoken about going into research. And I think that part of the research that needs to be done, the institutes can also start it before the brokers and the insurance take part in it, is to research on how farmers can elongate the lifespan of their products, such that we can get this food, as we are talking about food security, nutrition, getting it at the right quantity and at the right time, because I think that is very, very essential, because more than 70% of what is produced is not being consumed. So I'm advocating that government also has a part to play. Let us go back to food community boards, where these farmers can put together their things. Maybe there it will be safe for them to pull it, or government buys it, and then so that it will even get to the consumers at the right price where everybody can afford and not go hungry. Thank you.
All right, so that will be it. Prof, you have 3 minutes to respond.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm trying to level up with the audience. That is why I came down, so that I've left the high horse. And I won't take too much time, but let me assure you, even if you stay 10 minutes extra, this is the State House, and it is your house. President Tinubu is happy to have you here, so don't worry. Thank you very much. Now, let me quickly talk about markets, about food wastages and storage. Now, number one, I'm not specifically asking the council to begin to farm, but I've laid down a foundation. You don't have to be a farmer to participate. I mentioned that you can even just sponsor researches. And from what I've heard, sir, and from what you have said, you can also just sponsor our storage facilities. So that way, you don't have to be a farmer if you have lost money in the past. And don't forget, you know very well that you are insurance brokers. You could have stayed within your insurance subject and not bother us about food security. Now say you want to enter matter of food, and that is why we had to discuss food. Unless, of course, Mr. President set this up for the purpose of just educating the council members. If that is the case, then I've just educated you. But if you truly want to participate, I have told us how you can participate. You don't have to have farms. But I've said that I believe the council is willing to support the Renewed Hope Agenda, and that is why you called it the Renewed Hope Agenda, which means that you are ready to support. Support means participation. Participation means putting your money where your what? Yes, so we are challenging you. Just do not pay lip service. I personally will feel offended if after now nothing happens. You know what we do at NIPS? After all these discussions, we give everybody 2 weeks to respond somehow. If we don't get anything in 2 weeks, we say, DG, that is a wasted effort in the main. Of course, there will be ancillary. Maybe some of you would have learned a few things. But as a council, we expect that 2 weeks' time, you have to do something about what we have had. If you don't do anything in 2 weeks, then it means in the first place ab initio, you were only set to pay lip service. But given the caliber of those who invited me here, I believe that they are all serious-minded people that I've known for a long time. And I know you will take it up. Yes, don't farm if you don't have what it takes. But then support food security by doing other things. Oh, how about setting up storage centers so that we don't keep wasting food? How about sponsoring researches? I know for sure that when plantain comes into my 12 market, you can see about 10, 12 trailers coming in a day. That day prices will fall. And when I was consulting for Lagos State government, I said there was a need for us to study the plantain markets such that we will know the number of trailers that must enter my 12 for farmers and middlemen to have constant prices. A situation where 15 trailers enter the market, prices will fall. Then the next time, the farmer is not bringing his products. It's not acceptable. But who will sponsor all of those researches? So please, we are encouraging you, if you cannot farm, support other areas of farming. Somebody was speaking about the swine flu that happened at Okearo. Yes, I lost 235 pigs during that period. But then, at the time insurance people were coming, the pigs had already, a lot of them had already been infected. The losses in Okearo that year was close to 10 billion. People took it for granted. If you multiply 235, I was supposed to make 54 million from my hogs. I was already even looking at the land I was going to buy with the money before, before the swine flu came. And that thing takes off, it kills them in 3 days. You see all your investment just goes. So that's what I'm saying, sir. There is need for proper research. What you don't have to ensure everything from beginning to the end. You can just take your mathematics. I just took 5,000 birds, okay, of broilers, and somebody tells you, oh, you must insure them for 20% of their value over the period. But the high-risk period is only the first 2 weeks. That is what I want in my insurance for. You spoke about Nikon. They don't have such products. They just have this insurance that blankets everything. And it is because there is no proper research. When exactly do you need to put your insurance or remove your insurance? Segment the production cycle and look for it. It's deeper. And that is why I think you came up with this topic. You don't have to farm, but look at other areas where you can support the situation so that we can have enough to grow and enough to eat. Now, quickly, let me just allude to one other thing that I think is very important. Somebody said that, oh, why are they in it? Please, at the period of national food emergency, I just mentioned it, we need goodwill of those of you who have excess cash. We cannot leave our Greek to government alone. Neither can we leave to poor farmers like us. We need intervention from organizations like you. To feed Nigeria is not only the job of farmers. We need those of you that have excess capital. And we are not asking, I'm not suggesting for too much. I said just 1%. I did not even say 5. It will go a long way. And of course, it's going to show, Mr. President, that you have goodwill. You are contributing to the development of Nigeria. Sir, I suggest very strongly that you do not let it stop here. Let us take further steps. I have told you, we are not profit-seeking at NIPS, but we are in a position to further your agenda on this matter and ensure that Mr. President hears about it. Anything that will contribute to the 8-point agenda, Mr. President will love. And of course, it's not for him. It's for Nigeria to be where it should be. I thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Prof. Well, we have presents for our participants here. Mr. President, please. But first and foremost, maybe you might rise with a group photograph with the President. For calling Chin Chin Prof, you must give all of them M&I. Mr. President, please remain here to present gifts to the people that came. Is that for Prof? Prof, we have something.
The teacher of generals and successful private men. please be here. Professor Ayomo Tayo, we have some of your past students. Is it in the, you say, as participants, or what do you call them? I've taken over, there is no longer NIPS. This is NCRIB. Sir, I want to present this to you in recognition of your invaluable contribution as guest speaker at the 2024 National Insurance Brokers Conference and Exhibition. You spoke on renewed hope for food security through insurance. You are quite eloquent about it. We are insurance brokers primarily, but let me assure you, we have some of our members who are farmers. What do we do with the investable funds that we have, other than to make things better for the country? On this note, sir, with joy in my heart, I don't know what the NIP style will be. I don't have to say chin-chin to give to you. But with the backing of my ancestors, they are seated. Please accept this as a token of our love. We cannot give you money for the knowledge you have impacted, but you will always remember us when you see this in your office. Thank you, sir. Well, you said you came to represent him. Yeah, it was your voice, but this is his award. Eh? I know you don't mind. Please proceed. I think I should ask the CIM president to do this one. Madam, please oblige us this. Since Bode is your council member. Abi?
Okay. In appreciation of your contribution towards this discussion that we've. Okay. In appreciation for your contribution towards further deliberations on the paper presented by the Prof. On behalf of the President of NCRIB, it is my pleasure to present this to show our appreciation, and we hope you will extend this to Mr. Bode Okpadokun. Thank you. Mr. Ndanusa. Mr. Kubo. Okay. Mr. Kubo. This token is presented to you on behalf of the President of NCRIB to show our appreciation for your contribution, and I'm sure we'll further deliberate more from what you have also said in coming up with our communique. Thank you.
Galga. You know me, I'm am the, I can say that here. I want my deputy to give you this one. I know your relationship.
Thank you so much, my dear President. It is with immense pleasure, and it is a privilege as well, that I am on behalf of our dear President and the NCRIB, presenting to my boss, my teacher, my elder brother, and my very good senior friend, a man that I respect so much, and a man that I have accused. If I do anything right, it is to his credit. If I do things that are wrong, it is also for him to take the blame. And therefore, Mr. Rotimi Fashola, FCIB, on behalf of our President and the Council, and in recognition of your invaluable contributions as a discussant at the 2024 National Insurance Conference and Exhibition, on the theme, Insurance, the Untapped Gold Mine, I present you this plaque of appreciation on our collective behalf. Thank you very much.
We're done.
I want my ancestors to join me, my 4 living ancestors here. Any support given to me is support given to them. And when you beat me, you are beating them. And when they see you, they won't want to beat me. Eh? Where did you suddenly find love, both of you, that you are holding hands? Eh? Eh? To your president. You are insulting your president. Representative of Leadway Assurance Limited, please. Please clap for them as they come forward. They are the major sponsor of this conference. They gave us a lot of money. So we won't say chin chin yet. Please go this way. Please go this way.
On behalf of the President and the entire members of NCRIB, we present this to Leadway Assurance Company Limited in appreciation of your support, especially as major sponsor of 2024 National Insurance Brokers Conference and Exhibition held at Banquet Hall, State House, Abuja, today, Tuesday, October 29, 2024. Thank you so very much. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Chin,
Chin chin done.
Chin chin done. Okay, okay.
Please don't go yet. representative of Sanlam Insurance Company Limited. Sanlam. Is this Sanlam? Okay, she's coming.
Well, we cannot thank enough our sponsors because they make us do what we're doing, and they have always supported us, Leadway especially, and Sanlam now. On behalf of my president and the entire council members and indeed membership of NCRIB, we present this to Sanlam in appreciation of their support, especially as co-sponsor of 2024 National Insurance Brokers Conference and Exhibition held at Banquet Hall, State House, Abuja, today, Tuesday, October 29, 2024. We thank you so very much. Thank you. Please, a round of applause for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Shona.
Thank you.
Thank you, sirs. Thank you, my ancestors. May I invite my president of presidents in this industry to please come up stage for a few moments. It is most uncommon to see a president of CIN stay with us all through. And she has promised me that she's going to stay with us all through dinner. And we are going to be together at the investiture of the NIA chair tomorrow. So the spirit of collaboration is really enveloping us. My president, the president of presidents, my mother in the Lord, please take this as an appreciation of your support for us, coming down to Abuja and staying with us all through, and taking the pain to remain with us all through dinner, knowing your commitment and your feelings towards NIA. But we know that you are now truly for all of us. This is symbolical. Thank you very much.
Let's appreciate the president as he steps down. She's making the president of CIN to make anticipatory support. He said, we know you are going to be here for dinner. And the woman said yes. So thank you very much. So this is how we'll flow. Lunch, I understand, is served. We'll take lunch, then disperse. Dinner is for 6 p.m. Let's be back here, have fun, enjoy ourselves. It's been a wonderful day. Okay, the president is coming back for an announcement.
Management has approved that our members who have given exemplary services, who have shown commitment to this regime, and who have supported us, should be honored at dinner today, as after we do the award of honorary fellowship to the IGP and the chairman of the House Committee. I want to see if they will see through their commitment and usual attendance of our events. So we won't tell you, but we'll announce your name and give you your award. If you are not here, you will wait for Mrs. Ezibe's tenure to collect the award, even though I have signed it. Thank you very much.
Please, we'll be a bit patient. The State House people says they need about 10 minutes to set up the lunch venue and then get your food ready. So you can use that to network in the room here while we wait for them. 10 minutes, you can go for your lunch.